Senate President Alan Cayetano and Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla clash over the execution of an arrest warrant for Senator Jinggoy Estrada at the Senate. Senator Jinggoy Estrada surrenders over plunder and graft charges Monday, June 1 and is locked up in Payatas jail on the same day. Vietnamese President To Lam cancels his visit to the Senate as well as his scheduled meeting with Senate President Alan Cayetano. China's Coast Guard conducts so-called law enforcement patrols in Taiwan's eastern waters as a response to Japan and the Philippines' maritime border delimitation talks. And the National Capital Region defends its overall crown in the 2026 Palarong Pambansa with 91 golds and a total of 233 medals. Senate President Alan Cayetano and Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla clash over the execution of an arrest warrant for Senator Jinggoy Estrada at the Senate Monday, June 1. Before Estrada surrendered to the PNP CIDG in the Senate, Cayetano insists no one should be arrested inside Senate premises. He cites the separation between the executive and legislative branches of the government. But Remulla says that privilege was lost when Senator Bato de la Rosa escaped while under Senate protection.
Ang sabi ko sa kanya, "Sir, I'm sorry, you lost that privilege when Bato escaped." Okay, next.
So ano ibig sabihin? Wala na.
So, yes.
You honor yung ganong separation?
We will inform them, we will give them the courtesy, but if there's an arrest to be made, we will make the arrest.
Only members of the Senate minority are present at the session hall for the plenary session Monday. Before going to Camp Crame for his surrender, Senator Jinggoy Estrada is accompanied by Cayetano and Majority Senators ICYMI Marcos, Rodante Marcoleta, and Camille Villar. Senator Jinggoy Estrada is detained at the New Quezon City Jail in Payatas past 8 p.m. Monday, June 1. He earlier surrendered to Philippine National Police Criminal Investigation and Detection Group personnel at the Senate for plunder and graft cases linked to the flood control scandal.
I will not seek Senate custody. Hindi ko gagamitin ang Senado bilang panangga laban sa mga aligasyon sa akin. Nakahanda akong ipagtanggol ang aking sarili sa hukuman at hindi ako magtatago sa likod ng institusyong ito upang umiwas sa proseso.
During a press conference before he went to Camp Crame, Estrada also says he instructed the Senate Secretary to put his salary on hold. From Crame, Estrada is booked at the Sandigan Bayan and is then brought to Payatas for detention. Estrada faces a plunder charge and 2 counts of graft over his alleged involvement in flood control corruption. The Sandigan Bayan 2nd Division issued a warrant of arrest for his graft case last May 29 and he secured temporary liberty by posting a 90,000 peso bail. Vietnam cancels the scheduled visit of Vietnamese President To Lam to the Senate and his meeting with Senate President Alan Cayetano on Monday, June 1. The Senate's Office of Internal Relations and Protocol says the Vietnamese government canceled the Senate events. The Monday plenary session was moved to 5 p.m. from the usual 3 p.m. schedule in anticipation of Lam's visit. No official reason was provided, but the supposed visit coincided with the arrival of PNP CIDG personnel who served the arrest warrant for Senator Jinggoy Estrada. Lam arrived in Manila on Sunday, May 31 for a state visit. He was in Malacanang early Monday for a bilateral meeting with President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. and a state luncheon in honor of the Vietnamese leader. Lam's visit marks the 50th year of Vietnam's diplomatic relations with the Philippines and is expected to advance trade, security, and maritime cooperation between the two countries. China's Coast Guard conducts law enforcement patrols in Taiwan's eastern waters. This is seen as a response to Japan and the Philippines' plans for maritime border delimitation talks which overlap with areas China claims. The two countries said last week they would begin these formal talks in accordance with international law. But China's foreign ministry said Friday, May 29, the area covers waters east of Taiwan, which Beijing views as its territory. China's Coast Guard says a flotilla had carried out the patrol in accordance with the law to the east of Taiwan, though it did not specify where exactly. It says, "We urge Japan and the Philippines to immediately cease all illegal actions that infringe upon China's sovereign rights and interests." Philippine and Japanese embassies in Beijing have not responded to requests for comment. Meantime, Taiwan's foreign ministry denounces China's comments. It says China has no right to interfere in Taiwan's territorial sovereignty and sovereign rights over its relevant maritime areas. The National Capital Region defends its overall crown in the 2026 Palarong Pambansa. It secures its 19th overall championship after collecting 91 gold, 71 silver, and 71 bronze medals for a total of 233 at the close of competitions on May 30. NCR swimmer Patricia May Santor emerged as the most bemedaled athlete of this year's Palaro, winning 7 gold medals in the secondary girls' division. Calabarzon finishes second overall for the third consecutive year with 55 golds, 50 silvers, and 60 bronzes. Calabarzon also claimed the secondary boys basketball crown for the first time since 2016, dethroning Davao Region in the final. The Palaro will return to Metro Manila for the first time since the 2023 Marikina City edition, as Quezon City hosts the 2027 Games. And that's today's wrap. I'm JC Gotinga. Thank you for watching. Click the link below for the full story. For more updates, download the wRap.